Hello, everyone. So today what we're going to do is make an EC2 web server showing you how the availability and scalability of AWS works. Now, before we get started, please make sure you did see my first video about creating the VPC with the Internet Gateway, because that will be needed for this process. All right, now to get started, we're going to go up here to the top where your magnifying glass is in your AWS console and type EC2. You'll see EC2 will pop up. We will click right on there. That will take us to the EC2 dashboard. You will see a launch instance in yellow on the left. We're going to click on that. Now, once we get here, you're going to see the first thing we do is have a name server. A name to name your server for. I am going to choose demo server 123 is my number, is my name. For the machine image, we're going to pick the Amazon Linux, the one you see AWS here. We're going to try to keep everything in the free tier today. Now, as we scroll down to instance type, depending on your free tier, you'll either have T3 or T2 micro. You're going to see I have chosen the T3 micro. Now, for a key pair login, we do need that if we want to do what's called SSHing into the EC2 at a later date. So what I'm going to do is create a new key pair here to show you how to do that. So create new key pair. You can create the key pair name. I'm just going to do key P456. We want RSA and .pem checked. You're going to click create key pair in the yellow on the bottom. Once you do this, you're going to see it'll automatically download the key pair up top. Now your key pair should be saved where we just created it here for key pair name. Now we'll scroll down to your network settings. You can click create security group. We're actually going to allow all of these. Since we're going to delete this, it doesn't make a difference what we do here. This allows us to do the SSH traffic as we mentioned before, what the key pair was going to be for. HTTPS and HTTP, those are for secure websites and unsecure websites. So we'll scroll down a little bit further to see the advanced details. You're going to click on that and scroll all the way down to the very bottom where it says user data. Now you're going to see in the comment section, I have added a yum update -y. You want to copy and paste that entire thing in here. And once you copy and paste that here, oops, we're going to click launch instance on the right in the yellow. This should say successfully launched. And if you click on instances at the top, you're going to see that its instance state is running and the status check it is initializing. So it should be up and running very soon. While we wait for that, the next thing we're going to do is create the load balancer. Now you can either put application load balancer here in the search, or you can scroll down here on the left-hand side. If you do not see the EC2 menu, you press the 3 lines or the hamburger to have it pop out. Scroll down to load balancers towards the bottom, and we're going to click on load balancers. Now, when you get to the load balancer, you're going to see in the top right, it says create load balancer in yellow. We're going to click on that. And we're going to choose the application load balancer. Click create in the blue bubble. Once here, it's going to look for a load balancer name. I'm going to call this ALB456 as well, just to keep it going for a load balancer. We want this to be internet facing, IPv4. Continue to scroll down. Network mapping. We want to select all availability zones. So you want to click your VPC here, and you're going to see availability zones are all here. And actually, if you go from the bottom, it's easier because they expand. You can click on as many as you have. You usually have anywhere from 2 to 4 in your free account, but you can click on all of those, and you're going to see these subnets populate underneath them as well. So once you're all set with that, we're going to scroll down to listeners and routing. You should have HTTP 80 here, and we're going to create target groups. So create a target group. You see forward to target group. Click on create target group. Everyone sees that under default action, routing action, create target group. Here we're going to click on instances because we want to use that EC2 instance we have. You're going to see target group name. You can call this TG for target group, and I'm going to use 456 again. You want to use the HTTP 80, IPv4. Again, make sure it has your correct VPC here. It should. It's okay to do HTTP 1. Scroll all the way down to the bottom where you're going to see next in yellow. We're going to click on next. You should see your registered targets here. You're going to click on that and include as pending below. You should see this is now added down at the bottom for targets. Once that is down there, you're going to click on the yellow next. Now this is where we review everything to make sure it all looks correct. Should be the correct VPC. Make sure you take note of your name. Target is an instance type. Port 80. You're going to see again, your target is your demo server, or in my case, it was a demo server, whatever you happen to name yours. Bottom right, create group in yellow or orange if you're over it. It should say successfully created your target group up top. So now that we have this successfully created, we go back into our load balancers. Check the load balancer to make sure it was all set. Again, we'll do ALB 456. Internet facing, IPv4, the VPC. Make sure these were clicked. Security groups. Target group. Now we want to make sure we have instances, or your instance one that you created, as well as your target group. So you should have target group 456. Now you're going to see the weight here. Now I have a couple other target groups. I'm going to show you how it works. So I'm going to add my instance target group here as well. So now if we want to do 50-50, we can do 50-50 like this, do the weight. And it'll search at 50% here. You also could do it 70-30. And there's a percent 70-30. After this, we'll keep it 50-50. And I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom to create a load balancer. Should say successfully create a load balancer. Again, just like the EC2, it's going to take a few minutes for it actually to be fully set up and have the traffic routing. But what we're going to do now while we wait for that, I'm going to go back up to the top here of your EC2. Again, the 3 lines of the hamburger, click to get this menu to pop out. And we want to go to Launch Templates under Instances. Launch Templates. You're going to click the yellow Create Launch Template. And now we're going to name this template. For this one, I'm just going to put template 456. Now we go down here. We want to make sure that we click My AMIs. Actually, I'm sorry, Quick Start is easier for us for what we did. We're going to click on Amazon Linux. That AWS again is wanted to be the same exact thing that we just had. And then we scroll down to the instance type. And it's going to be, for my case, again, it was T3 micro. If you had T2 micro, please make sure it just mimics exactly what the first one we created was. Now we don't have to we can add that same key pair again in here. If we want to, I believe mine was key P456. Now we scroll all the way down to the bottom to do the advanced details again. Scroll all the way bottom to the advanced details again. This is where you want to, again, click and paste what's in the comment section again in here. So it mirrors exactly what you have in your other EC2. Once you're done creating the launch template, you're going to click on the yellow Create Launch Template on the bottom right. Should say successfully created. Now, the EC2 section, you're going to click the hamburger, the 3 lines here on the top left, have your menu pop out. You're going to scroll all the way to the bottom and see auto scaling groups. We're going to click on auto scaling groups. And at the top right, you'll click the yellow create auto scaling group. And we'll do another group name. I'm going to continue my ASG for auto scaling group, and I'll continue my 456 at the end. Now, you're going to see here at launch template, you want to hit this drop down, and it should have your template. See my template 456 is here? We're going to click on that. You want to keep the default there. And we're going to click on yellow next. Now, once you see it in the network, again, you want to make sure your default VPC is here. The availability zones, we want to do the same thing we did before. Click for this, you actually only have to click on a couple of these just to make sure that they're good to go. I'm going to do A, B, and C. The more you have, the higher the availability is. For our cases today, we only really need to do a couple. And you want to make sure we say balance best effort, because this way, if the launch fails in one availability zone, all scaling will attempt to launch it in another healthy availability zone. As you can see, they describe everything to you as you move along. So click on the bottom right yellow next. Now we want to attach an existing load balancer. So what we want to do here is you're going to see our target group. Now we had done, mine was 456, so I'm going to do that one. You can skip the VPC lattice integration options. Let's scroll all the way to the bottom. The health check grace period, I'm actually going to lower mine just to 60 seconds so I can, in the future, show you guys how I can rev it up and rev it down. We're going to click the bottom right yellow next. Now, desired capacities. For this one, I'm going to put 2. But on the next, I'm going to keep minimum to 1 and maximum to 4. You scroll to the bottom, click the yellow next. Yellow next. Yellow next. And now we review to make everything looks all right. You'll see your launch template, your VPC, your subnets with your availability zones, your load balancer, and create auto scaling group in yellow at the bottom right. And it should be created successfully, as you see ASG456 here. And it's updating the capacity with a couple availability zones. So now we want to go to creating the scaling policy. So if we click on our name right here and go to automatic scaling and create dynamic policy. So again, I clicked on the ASG456, my auto scaling group, and hopped up on the page where there's automatic scaling column. And you see create dynamic scaling policy. We click on that bubble. So once we're here, what we want to do here is target tracking. Keep with the target tracking policy. Metric type, average CPU utilization. Excuse me. Target value 50 is fine. And instance warm up, I'm actually going to make this 60 as well. Then bottom right in yellow, click create. And it should say dynamic scaling policy is created. Well done to view everything. It all looks good. All right, so now what we do is we can create an RDS database, but in this case, I'm actually going to connect right to the EC2. So I'm going to go to the EC2s again. Oh, no, I guess we can't do the RDS. We'll just make the quick. So to create a database, you click on RDS. You'll see Aurora and RDS pop up. We want to click on the yellow create. Create database in yellow. So now this is going to generate our database for us. Okay, now, so once we have that RDS created, your database, we're going to go back up to the magnifying glass, type in EC2, click on EC2 here. And now what I want you to do is click on your instances running. You should probably only have one in here. And we're going to click on the instance you created today. So I'm going to click on my demo server here. And now when you're here, you're going to see in the top right in the blue bubble, it has a connect. So we want to click connect here. And you're going to see it has Instance Connect, Session Manager, SSH Client, and EC2 Serial Console. We're actually going to click on the Instance Connect. So come right here to the bottom lower right in the yellow, it says Connect. And now this is going to take you right here. So instead of going into the CLI on your computer, we're going to do it right here in the console. I am going to show you guys next how to download the CLI so you can start doing some CLI things in the future. But right now, we're just going to put this here because I want to show you how we can actually stress what we just did. So you're going to see here, if you go the EC2-user IP, right here, you're going to have a white block here. This is where we're going to type. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stress this out. So I'm going to click sudo yum install y stress. And that should download our stressor. So now we click sudo yum no, now it should be set. All right, so now once it's downloaded, we run it. So you're going to do stress -- CPU. We're going to run 2, and I'm going to have timeout of 100 here. And then I'm going to click enter. Now, so it's going to have 2 CPUs running, and it's going to force it to timeout. So what this is going to do, it's going to show us that the availability scalability, of course, is when we have one CPU is running too much, and we need to now we use our load balancer to bring it to the second image we created. So that way, as you saw the 50-50, it would be able to break off and 50-50. So in an ideal world, you have 100, it would be 50 on the first one, 50 on the second one. Now, this does take a little while, but if we want to, we can go into the monitoring of the instance to see it. So if you go back to EC2 here and go back to your instances running, and you can see our demo server, you're going to want to again click on the instance ID and scroll down to monitoring. And you should start to see this start to creep up. See the utilization is going up, your network is going up, everything is starting to be used. So what we did here is we did this to make this go pop up very quickly. That's why I picked the 100 again when I was in the timeout sequence. Now, the timeout, the longer you go, the longer it's going to go, and you'll be able to see more of the breaking of the load balancers to the 50-50 plateau, or maybe it'll be down to 50-30, whatever it might be. You're going to be able to see them as we stress them out a little bit here. So we'll refresh a little bit to see what we're doing. Now, this does take a little bit of time because this also, the monitoring is not 100% live. But you can see here, it has 46% of the 93% utilization. So it's using half of what it's supposed to be using, which is good. That's really what we want to see. But yes, so this is just kind of wanted to show you guys what it looks like when it's actually running. And that's what the stress test really does. It can show you how when it pops up, it's going to come right back down to where it's all, the utilization is balancing. That's how we base it off of, remember, the CPU utilization. So now, if we go back into EC2, what we want to do is make sure you delete everything you had in here. So we'll go down to the launch instance, and we're going to go to instances running. We're going to go onto this. You want to click the EC2 instance you had. Top right, you're going to see instance state. You want to stop your instance. Okay to skip OS shutdown. Once that's stopped, you're going to then go instance state, and you can do terminate, delete instance. It will then ask you to do the same thing. You're skipping it. And now we also scroll in. We'll start from the bottom, auto scaling groups. The group that you created, in this case, mine was ASG. I'm going to do the same thing. Click on that. Actions, delete. We go up to load balancers. Same thing here. Click on that. Actions, delete load balancer. Confirm. We go up to security groups. Actually, you can leave the security group, so it's fine. When we go to launch templates and instances, highlight that. Actions. I guess actually it does not have the delete there. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I missed it. Delete, delete. And now the instance should also be deleted. Yep, so it should be all set. You also want to make sure you go into your RDS database. If you did create one, the Aurora and RDS, and make sure that if you have one of these in here still, that it is clicked. Actions. You don't have to take the snapshot. Actually, mine are already deleted in here. I guess the one we created did not create. But you would click on this and create actions, delete. It'll delete that. And then you go to the next database, actions, delete, and it'll be deleted. All right, so there we go. You guys were able to create your scaling groups and your load balancers to be able to take two different EC2s and have them run and carry the load. Thanks again, guys. If you have any questions, definitely let me know.